Hi, Blueberries, and welcome to this new week of our online flexible session. I'm Professor Walker. I'm really looking forward to watching all of your videos that you recorded last week so that I get a chance to get to know each one of you a little bit more personally. Hopefully, with having the videos, you also got a chance to see each other and kind of give ourselves this kind of community feel that we may not get in an online environment that I really hope that I can help create like this community for you all, because I don't want you to feel like you are kind of learning alone in a silo by yourself and not having friends and making connections with one another. I thought I would record a video to just kind of go over a few reminders and answer some general questions that I've gotten over the last couple of days. And then what you'll do, I'm going to put this video in the announcement and then check below in the announcement for more specific details for what you're going to be doing in our class this week. So when it comes to discussions, as I put in the syllabus, discussions are the equivalent to our classroom. It's kind of our virtual space to actually interact with one another. So the discussions are broken up into three parts. There's your initial post, then your peer responses, and then your engagement. So I'm just going to go over those again. So your initial post is your initial response to the prompt that's in the discussion. And this should be posted no later than Tuesday of each week. I think I explained that in the orientation video, but the point of this is you've got the weekend to kind of prep. You've got Monday to ask me more questions to make sure you understand the material, and Tuesday as well. But then Tuesday kind of gets you the point to post, and then you have the rest of the week to interact with one another. In Canvas, I have the due date as Tuesday. That's just so that you all won't forget to post by Tuesday, but everything doesn't have to be done by Tuesday, but your initial response does. When you're doing the initial response, we're getting ready to start getting into actual course content. So last week was different because there wasn't any course content to relate back to, because you all were talking about yourselves personally. Make sure that you are interjecting your own thoughts and opinions and ideas and experiences in the responses, but it should be clearly tied back to the learning resources for that week or that module. And what I mean is that I should know that you have read and or watched the videos that I've provided. And not just some of them, it should be clear. You should be able to make connections between one thing to the next. This is where that upper level learning, critical thinking, and thought process and practicing that happens in college, is when you are given multiple places to get information and you're able to create thoughts based on your own experiences plus what you got out of those bits of information. I don't want you to connect this back to just give me a definition or your classmates. We've all had access to the same information. So I don't want it to be a post that says, well, mediated communication, which according to the textbook is any communication in which is not face-to-face and used by technology. I don't need you to define it. We all had the word to define it. But maybe you say, according to the textbook, mediated communication tends to be less rich in certain emotions. And so I think that that is why I utilize emojis or GIFs in order to get across my point. So again, you're taking what you learned and then adding how that shapes your experience. Sometimes it could be in disagreement, right? So it doesn't always have to be in agreement. You could say, that same example, the textbook states that, texting lacks emotion and often can lead to confusion, but I disagree. That is why we have created emojis or using GIFs or using certain language that helps us display a more rich experience. So again, I wanted to be very clear that you did the reading, that you've done the learning, and that you've kind of had a way to put this together. The discussions is a great place to practice because in your assignments, that's what I would expect to see. So just make sure that you're thinking about that. Next comes your peer responses. So with your peer responses, it needs to be more than, I agree, I like how you did that. You're not responding to how they gave you their content. You are responding to what your peers actually had to say in the conversation. If you think about it, imagine a conversation like this. You are spilling your heart to your best friend, and you tell them that you've got a major crush on someone, or someone in your family has COVID, or whatever it might be, because we're dealing with lots of different things. And then they say, oh my gosh, I loved how you texted that to me. That was interesting. you would be ticked off because they're not even listening or paying attention to the content. They're responding to how you deliver the message. And that's the same type of thing that we want to keep in mind for our discussions. Your peer responses should also link back. So when you're responding to your peers, you should be linking this back to more course material, and you should be using the exact same thing that you've already used. It's again showing that you can link together different ideas. And you're also supposed to ask an open-ended question. Make sure that that makes sense. In other words, your response shouldn't talk about A and then out of left field we get a question that doesn't have anything to do with how you responded to them. So make sure that your question connects to your response. And last but not least is the engagement piece. And this is where I've gotten the most questions. So a couple of things. Make sure that you are responding to people who respond to you. Now, one thing about your peer responses is that you should be looking at your peers who may not have a response. Don't all flock to the same person's original post. Even if it's something that's really interesting, feel free. You can do more than one, but try to post on folks who may not have nearly as many questions. And this makes sure that everyone has a chance to engage with one another. So that way, when we get to this engagement piece, I've had a few of you say, hey, I don't have anyone who has engaged with my post. What happens? If no one posts anything or responds to you under your post, you're not held responsible for not responding because you didn't have anything to respond to. With that being said, I kind of use the gauge of if no one has posted anything by like Friday midday, so like Friday morning, if no one still posted, if someone posts to you at 10 p.m. on Friday because they decided to wait, I'm not going to hold that against you. Okay, so just so you all know that you won't lose points if someone doesn't respond or post anything under your post if you don't have the ability to respond. However, if someone does respond to you and you just never acknowledge it or don't respond, then yes, that's when that would impact the grade in the rubric. So that's just kind of an overview of the discussions. The next reminder is that I do hold office hours. My office hours are by appointment only, but I have a blocked out time in my schedule. What does that mean? It means that on every Monday from 9:30 to 11, my calendar is blocked off to any time that you all need to schedule an appointment with me. On Wednesdays is from noon to 1 p.m. If these sets of times don't work for you, don't worry. In the syllabus, there's a link for you to actually schedule an appointment with me if it works during these times. In the event that you say, hey, professor, I can't meet on this time, I really want to talk to you, can we meet on a Thursday? If you want to meet on a different day, please provide me with 2 to 4 different times and send that to me in an inbox message. I have these times blocked off my schedule, but it doesn't mean that I can't be available at a different time. These are just times that I always have available for my students. And then from there, I can then respond and say, hey, yeah, we can meet at this time, and then I will set that up for you. So please don't hesitate, right? So you have the class cafe to ask questions, but if you want more one-on-one help with anything or trying to understand anything, that is especially where the office hours can come in, or what we call student interaction hours can come in handy. So again, you all did excellent last week. I'm looking forward to seeing how you're integrating more of the course content this week as we all start diving into our classes. Good luck this week. Good luck. I can't believe it's September already. And again, take care of yourselves. Be mindful, be kind, be safe. And if you need anything, don't hesitate. And now check out all of the information below on what you need to do this week.